Yo, peace was good. Welcome to part two of the Ready to Die review. I had to cut it off because my camera could only record 30 minutes, so I just wanted to give you guys that disclaimer. So I left off on the song "The What." Like I said, I always feel like that was a Method Man song and things like that. And it's crazy too because I read an article yesterday that song again had some sample clearance issues too. Like, but it was like years after the song came out, which pisses me off, yo. Like, yeah, that shit pisses me off. So, but it is what it is. Um, Now going on to this next track, "Juicy." Everybody knows that song. It's pretty much an autobiographical track, just him talking about, um, just him, being influenced by like, some of the dopest MCs out at the time, like Curtis Blow. Like I like the line when he said like about when he said about the Word Up magazine. Listen to Mr. Magic and Molly Mark. Rest in peace to Mr. Magic, by the way. Yeah, just like reading Word Up magazine, shit like that, man. Pretty dope, man. What I like about that song is like it just has that. It has that New York summertime at night vibe to it. All my New Yorkers know what I'm talking about. Um, but again, it's crazy because I like the song, but I've heard it so just like with One More Chance, the remix. I've heard that song so much times. Like it's just like, oh my god, like come on, man, dude, like what the fuck, man, like you know what I mean. But it's a dope song. I do understand the importance of the song, but it's like I've heard it so many times, like I get tired of hearing it. But that's just my opinion. I know most people would want to say certain things like that, but you know me, I gives no fucks. But that's no disrespect to Biggie or anything like that. But that's just my opinion. Um, that song has some controversy too because Pete Rock at the time, one of the biggest producers out at the time, um, you know, was actually has the original version of the song. Because the story is that both him and like both Puffy and Biggie went to Pete Rock's house in the famous basement that we all know that he lives. I think in Mount Vernon or New Rochelle that he lives at. I know he's from Mount Vernon, but I think he stays in New Rochelle, or whatever. But any case, whatever. Um, in the infamous basement, and whatchamacallit, he was playing some beats, and I think the first beat they heard was "Juicy," but Pete Rock's version, which is in the original version of the album, is like a more up tempo, bouncy kind of feel. It has like a bouncy feel to it. Like he added drums to it, nice bass line and stuff like that. It's pretty dope. But if it would, I don't think it would have fit the album in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Even though "Juicy" is a loop, but it fits the album a lot better. That's just my opinion. But I do like the Pete Rock version better, obviously. But the "Juicy" one, the that's pause. That sounded weird. Um, the one that we all know, to me, fits the album a lot better. But that's just my opinion. And then Pete Rock, just said like in the interviews, like, yo, I just want credit, you know what I mean, and things like that. He kind of went through the same thing with with Q-Tip with the song "Jazz," where Q-Tip, I mean Pete Rock had the he had the sample and he was playing the sample, but he just played Q-Tip the sample, but he didn't make the beat. I think Q-Tip was the one that made the beat, but it just that he played the sample. But then Pete Rock, I think, was saying like he just wanted credit for that or whatever. But Pete Rock didn't make the beat. You just played the sample. Like you didn't program the beat, so it's like that kind of thing. But that's no disrespect to Pete Rock or anything like that. But it is what it is. But yeah, "Juicy." I believe that was the first single off the album too. All right. Then we got track 11, "Everyday Struggle." Very dope song right there. Really love that joint right there. Again, it's kind of a little bit like "Juicy," but it's like a lot more darker. Where he's actually talking about his past as a drug dealer. Just him used to be hustling back in because he's a hustler like in North Carolina, the DMV area, like Maryland, Virginia, and those places, and Delaware and those places like that. And he talks about him getting arrested in North Carolina and things like that. So like again, what this album is definitely like an autobiography, in hip hop form. That's the best way I could describe it, and you get that through some of the songs, like just him adding some of his real personal experience with some like embellished stuff, obviously, but but yeah, man, everyday struggle is just him talking about being broke and doing what you got to do. Like and like I said, him being broke, just him leading to his drug dealing past and stuff like that. So, and then Puffy pretty much told him like, yo, listen, man, like if you want to fuck with his music shit, you gotta leave this drug shit, this street shit in the past. And and he listened to him, and the rest is history. So it is what it is. But yeah, Everyday Struggle, very dope joint. That was produced by the Blues Brothers. All right, love that beat for that shit. Track 12, Me and My Bitch, very dope song. In a nutshell, it's just him talking about having a ride or die bitch, a ride or die chick. Like just so imagine like the modern day Bonnie and Clyde, Mickey and Mallory from Natural Born Killers with Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis. Dope movie, love that movie. I got it on DVD. I need to get a Blu-ray on that joint, but that's pretty much what he's talking about. But again, that's another song that suffered sample clearances because in the original version is a different beat. But I like this version better. I mean, I like the original, but this one was a lot better. It fit the album a lot better in my opinion. Yeah, that's just my opinion right there. Pretty dope. Shit song. All right. So getting back is probably some of people's favorite song, Biggie song. It's not mine's, but that's just my opinion. And the song is Big Papa. Oh my god, yo! When I hear that song, I just want to pull my hair. Obviously, I don't have long hair like that, but yo, it's a good song, but it's like I hear it so many fucking times, yo. It's like I get annoyed by it, but it does have its place in hip hop. It's like one of those songs, like again, if you're at a party or at a club, it's like a slow dance song right there, man. Like the girl grinding that big ass on you, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. But just doing it mad slow, just like nice slow grind, bumping grind type of shit. You know what I mean? But it's an ode to the players, all the dudes that's, just, doing it, just doing their thing. The players doing their thing, you know what I mean? And all the hustlers, just celebrate. It's a celebratory type of track, you know what I mean? And that's what I got with Big Papa. And the funny story with that song, Big Papa, the reason why he got his name Big Papa is because I've mentioned in part one of the review is that he was actually featured on the song "Dolly My Baby" by Supercat, and the first I think the first line was says, "They call me Big Papa," and then that kind of like stuck with him and stuff like that, So that's what it is. But Big Papa, I believe that was I want to say that was the second single. Let me see. Yeah, it's the second single off the album. So, but like I said, dope party track. But again, I just get tired of hearing that shit, man. This is no disrespect to him, but it is what it is. But yo, it's giving his mom money, so I ain't mad at that. Track 14, Respect. It's another song by him. I think that was produced by Easy Mo B, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. It's just him talking about coming up in the rap game and stuff like that. So, it's kind of it's pretty dope. It's kind of another Juicy, but a little bit different. But just him talking about coming up in the rap game, like I said, but bringing it to present day, which was 1994 at the time and stuff like that. All right. Track 15, Friend of Mine. It's a sex track, but I never liked the song. Like the beat was a problem for me. I never liked the beat for it. It's a song that I tend to like skip over the track. I mean, the lyrics are dope. Don't get me wrong. Biggie spitting his shit, but I feel like the beat didn't really do the song justice. That's just my opinion. Like I feel like could have been used a better beat, but that's just my opinion. It's a song I usually tend to skip over, but it is what it is. Track 16, Unbelievable. Definitely one of my favorite songs off the album. If I'm not mistaken, that's actually the first Biggie song I've heard, because I remember even though that's an unofficial single, but I do consider that a single. Um, and the reason why is because I remember Hot 97 used to play that shit on the radio all the time. I remember hearing that. I remember, I believe like around late 94, early 95, something like that. But Hot 97 used to play that when Hot 97 was Hot 97 at one point. But that shit is so ill. Funny story with that song is that DJ Premier did a interview about that song. In an interview, he was just saying like how I guess Unbelievable was the last song that Biggie needed for the song because all the songs were recorded by then. He just needed a primo track. It was like it's like how now like cats need a Dr. Dre song like to fulfill the album or a Kanye West or whoever the new producer out this the hottest producers out right now. So whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. But you know he wanted a primo track so bad. But Primo was like, yo, I don't really have the time, yo. Like, yo, I'm working on other stuff. Because I believe at the time he was working on J. Rue the Damage's first album. He was working on the Hard to Earn album, and among other albums, too. And, you know, he was like, yo, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. And, you know, Biggie's like, yo, I don't care, man. Anything. I don't care. You can use the Impeach the President drums, you know, something. Just use something out of that, you know. And from what I understand, like, Biggie paid Primo like 5,000 stacks, you know, for the beat. So, you know, so Primo made the beat, and the way he did it was just what he sampled. I don't know what he sampled, but it came out dope. It was very dope, nice chops and stuff like that. Very, very different from Primo's. Very experimental. Cause like when you hear that, it's very different from his earlier stuff. Cause his earlier stuff was like more melodic, but that song was like very stripped down. So it definitely sounded like something around that was made around definitely around the Hard to Earn era, you know, the Sunrise in the East. That the Primo that I like around that time, like from '92 to '96, the Eddie Sancho days and the D&D era, like that's the Primo I love. But very dope joint right there. It's a braggadocio track, but that line when he said like when your styles played out like the Kwame with the fucking polka dots. Like that shit always had me dying, man. That would have been a dope video, but it is what it is. Track 17, again, one of my favorite tracks too is Suicidal Thoughts. Fucking love that joint. It is so different from the rest of the songs. That song is so dark, man. It's just him, you know, just walking you through his death, his suicide, man, and just him like, you know, him talking on the phone, calling Puffy. He's like, yo, like I'm a piece of shit. My mom never loved me. That kind of shit, you know, that kind of things. I've been stressed out my whole life. I just want to die. My life would be better and stuff like that, and things like that. And you already know what ends up happening, and then he ends up killing himself and things like that, man. But love the beat. Lord Finesse supplied him with that beat. Fucking dope, man. Very, very dope. I really enjoyed. I love the beat for that shit right there, man. Could you imagine Lord Finesse and a Biggie on a collab album? Yo, that would be so fucking dope, man. And you know, Lord Finesse, man. At that time, it was a fucking monster, man. I love that era. I love that era, that awakening era of Lord Finesse. As far as I would say as an MC, but his production at that time, whew, fucking dope. By the way, he came out with an instrumental album called the SB 1200 Project, and you know, it's just songs that he made, you know, around the awakening era to like the late '90s. Very dope. Suicidal Thoughts is on that joint too. It's on vinyl. It's on digital. I have the CD. You know, I'm a CD head, so definitely had to pick that up. It's like 2 disc. Highly recommended. So you like the Awakening album, then you like that style of beats around that time, then you'll like the SB 1200 project. So, but I'm getting off topic. And then because like I said, this is the remastered, so got 2 more tracks. This next track is track 18, Who Shot Ya, which was like a 12-inch single. It's a controversial song because a lot of people think that's a Tupac diss track, but it's not. But it does sound like it, but it's not. The reason why I say that is because if you guys have heard Mary J. Blige's second album, My Life, there's an interlude called the Keith Murray interlude, and it uses the Who Shot Ya sound instrumental, and you hear Keith Murray freestyling over that shit. The funny story with that song is that originally Biggie was on the song, But when it happened, when his lyrics were too violent for the for the song, for the interlude, and rightfully so, because if you listen to that album, it is very mellow, very laid back. Definitely one of her best albums in my opinion. Yeah, Mary J. Blige in her prime. I don't care what nobody says. That like her first four albums. What's the 411? Obviously the remix. My Life, Share My World, and the Mary album. Oh my God, whew. Classic albums. I don't care what nobody says. But I'm getting off topic. But anyway, his lyrics were too hard for that song. So for the interlude. So but Biggie said like, yo, I made that song way before the shooting at the Quad Studio set recording studio at Quad back in 1994. So I made that song way before, but it came out a little bit after. So it did sound like the song was towards Pac, and and then Tupac came out, hit him up, and all that shit. The rest is history. Things of that nature. But and it's sad how the whole thing came about. But fuck you, Vibe magazine, for fuck in the media, for blowing the shit out of proportion, and even Pac himself said it like in an interview, like, yo man, like he even said the media is blowing the shit out of proportion. And then and it was at a MTV interview that he did around in '96, like 3 days before he died, and then look what happened, that kind of shit. So I do blame the media for that shit, but it is what it is. Who Shot Ya, dope song right there. Like I said, it's not featured on the original version, because the original has 17 tracks. Track 19, Just Plain Dreams, very dope song, conceptual track. That was like more of a promotional single. It was on a 12-inch, like a Bad Boy promotional, kind of like a sampler kind of thing. I think that's the same one where Party and Bullshit was on too as well. It's just him talking about fucking R&B chicks, like the hottest R&B chicks at the time, like Mariah Carey. He mentions Patti LaBelle, Escape. But he says some shit like, I've been fuck ugly ass Escape bitches or some shit like that. He talks about Shantae Moore. A couple other artists that he mentioned. I thought that was pretty cool. And shout out to my nigga Thurston How the Third, Vic Low, salute. He actually did an ode. He actually did kind of like a dedication to Biggie, but with his own twist. It's called Dreams of Fucking a Cartoon Bitch. Look that up. It should be on YouTube. Very dope. Dope. Yeah, Vic Lowe did his thing on that joint right there, man. Thurston Howell, yeah, it's called Dreams of Fucking a Cartoon Bitch. Was obvious. Talking about fucking people like Cinderella and Judy Jetson and yo, it's crazy, man. And that's pretty much it, guys. Overall, classic album. For obvious reasons. What makes this album great is the fact that it's an autobiography. It's like it like when you listen to it, it feels like a movie. Like, he really brings you in. It's like his most vulnerable album. It's like he brings you in, like, he brings you into his life. You know what I mean? Like, which is something you didn't really hear. I mean, you did, but not as descriptive as he did, and it's just so dope, man. And you know what I mean? And I really love this album, man. And I would love for them to re-release the original version of it. But again, I'm good with the free download and stuff like that, man. But yeah, man, very dope. Like I said, Biggie in his rawest form, in my opinion. I have to do Life After Death review, but I'll do that another day because I got other albums that I had to review. But I highly recommend it. I had a subscriber tell me the other day, like maybe last week, that he couldn't find the Ready to Die album. I don't know if it's because of where he lives. I mean, no disrespect. Because of where he lives, or because of maybe the sample clearance issues, can have a lot to do with it. Because, like I said, they like Biggie. I mean, Puffy got sued because of all these sample issues and stuff like that. And my thing is this: these fucking record labels need to have a bunch of sampling. I'm tired of this whole EDM, original organic production. It's cool, but then I don't know, man. I like samples, man. Just samples just has a nice warm feel to it, man. It's just the way you can just manipulate a sample, the way you chop it, the way you pitch shift and things like that, man. But you know, it is what it is, and it's always for hip hop because other genres sample too, but you know they don't get attacked as much as hip hop. And to me, it boils down to racism, in my opinion. Racism and prejudice. That's just my opinion. But overall, highly recommend it. Even if you're not a Biggie fan, you should own it. Now, I know you guys gonna ask me if Biggie's part of my top 10 or 12. He's not, but I do respect him as an MC. I think he is one of the best, but he's not one of my favorite MCs. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. But that's it. Rest in peace to him. Yesterday was his 19th anniversary of his death, which is unfortunate. And again, I feel like it's ridiculous that they can't find a killer. Again, it boils down to racism, in my opinion. I don't care what nobody says. You know, because if it was any other person, they would have been found the nigga. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. Oh, and something I forgot to mention too. The reason why he calls himself the Notorious B.I.G. was because when he came up as Biggie Smalls, he had a change. He got it from a blaxploitation film from '75. I think it was called Let's Do It Again or Let's Live It Again. Let's Get It Again or some shit like that. He got it from a character from that movie, but he had to change his name due to copyright infringement. So you know Hollywood don't fuck with that shit. So just has Ghostface Killer with the Iron Man, which I think is fucking ridiculous. But that's pretty much it, guys. You already know how I get down. Stay tuned for more. I will post all the goodies in the description box. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Peace.